Hey guys, Dima Rogoshkin is here again. In this lesson, we'll be working with the background of our photo. In previous lessons, we worked with the face of our model, adding different highlights to the eyes to make them more expressive. We also drew shadows and brightened up the skin using the dodge and burn method. Finally, we created a photo collage and added the lantern to the foreground and a book to the background. Today we're going to do more work with the background. We'll learn how to change the colors of colder tones while keeping the warmer colors in the foreground. We'll achieve that with curves. And the first thing I want to do is create a new curve and tint it blue. You can get the darkest blue tones by raising this point a little. They get the tint right away. If you go the other way, you'll get yellow. Here we'll grab a pointer and reduce the midtones a little. Something like this. Now, let's disable the upper layers. Select the collage layer in the collage folder and press the keys Command plus Option plus Shift plus E, or Control Alt Shift E on PC. This creates a new layer. The collage and the background layers combine into this new layer, layer number 6. I want to move this layer up here and enable this curve as well as these two top folders, face and eyes. Now let's hold the Option key, or Alt on PC, and click on the mask layer. You can start drawing now on this mask layer with the white gradient, or you can do it with a brush. It's up to you. I'll use a brush. I'm going over the face. The color of the face should stay warm, just like the candle, because it gives off this warm orange light. Like this, more or less. And now, let's figure out the background. I'm going to reset all settings in my curve layer and work more carefully, fine-tuning my background tones. A minor raise here in the blue channel, and I'm ready to enter the red one. Here, I'm going to lower the dark point slightly so that my darkest tones turn bluer. I'm going to fix a point somewhere in the middle here, and also drop it a notch, tinting the midtones in blue as well. Okay, let's compare. That's what we had, and this is what we got. Looks better. Now select the face layer. The mask on this layer looks like this. I'm going to enable a new curve and attach it to this layer. We know how to do it already. We covered this in our previous lesson. In the blue channel, responsible for blue and yellow, I add a little yellow to our model's face. Here you see 132 to 134. So very little yellow. I want to add a gradient in here to smooth the edges of our mask and transition from cold to warm colors more evenly. It's very hard to get a smooth transition with a brush, so I will be using the gradient tool. I also think we should add exposure for the face. The brightest uppermost point stays in place since the candlelight is overexposed. But we can fix a point here and raise it a bit, and fix another one down below and lower it a bit. Finally, let's fix another point here and adjust it according to the average settings for the face. We are adjusting the darker areas of the face. I want to tint the medium tones a little more. Check this out. Our darks are tinted blue, but the midtones are reddish. Therefore, I create a new curve and tint the middle tones in blue. That's about right. And I'm going to add a little bit of purple. Next, hold Command+I key combination or Control+I on PC. Take the gradient tool, set the opacity to 100%, and go over the background. Okay, let's reduce opacity and do the same thing over here. I might go over the lantern in some places. Great. Now go to the lower layer or curve number 7 and create a new hue saturation layer. With a pointer, begin reducing saturation for these colors. Our curve added a slightly red hue, and that's not the color we need. We need to move our hue saturation layer to a layer lower than curve 7. Grab a pointer again and reduce the saturation of these colors right here. I think we can reduce the opacity a little for this layer. The same goes for this layer. Perfect. Let's create another curve layer. I want the foreground to be more contrasting. I'll work on the background first. Fix a point in the middle tones. Right here, and raise it a little bit. With the gradient tool, go over the edges, brightening up some of the darkest areas in the image so that they won't distract the viewer from our heroine. Let's put all of these layers in a folder and call it background. Now, let's compare this picture to the one we had. That's where our lesson ends. In the next class, we will work with textures in the photograph.